This conference will now be recorded.
Hey guys, welcome back to Naveen Automation Labs and welcome back to Taiko automation series. So with respect to Taiko guys, I've already shown you that what exactly Taiko is all about, how to write the script, how to record the script, how to execute the script, and what are the different basic API documentation also about the Taiko methods and all those things are available. But this is not the way that, okay, we are going to use Taiko. We need to design a proper script. We need to design a proper framework. We need a good editor tool also. So for editor point of view, guys, we will be using Visual Studio Code, not Eclipse. And Visual Studio Code is quite compatible with JavaScript because we are going to use JavaScript and it provides a lot of plugins and everything. So you guys can use Visual Studio Code, and same thing we have to use for Protector and Puppeteer and any kind, or Cypress, any kind of tool which are based on JavaScript. You have to use VS Code, Visual Studio Code. It's very lightweight, very fast as compared to Eclipse and IntelliJ. So what we have to do that we have one testing runner framework that is called Gauge. Okay, Gauge, and you read this line that less maintenance, more acceptance testing. Gauge is a free open source test automation framework that takes the pain of acceptance testing. It means you can convert your acceptance testing into automation with the help of Gauge. So Gauge is just like a TestNG with Java. Okay, TestNG with Selenium, we were using it, right? Same thing, or just like a BDD framework with like Cucumber. Same thing, Gauge is a test runner actually, which will give you a complete test automation framework, that how you can design the framework, you can design your test cases, you can maintain your test cases properly, and you can write the code with respect to Gauge along with Taiko. So whatever the script that we are writing in Taiko, we will be using with Gauge. So that's why it's saying Gauge plus Taiko is equal to reliable browser automation for your JavaScript test, right? And see, if I give you some basic information about this, you can see it over here. Create readable and maintainable test. So you can create just like, you remember in BDD framework in Cucumber, we used to create a plain English feature files where we were writing jerkin keywords given when then. Similar way, you can write it a plain English like this. Let's see, vowels in English language are A, E, I, O, U. And these are the different words, parameterized word and examples word. You can use it like this for the, okay, parameters point of view. Like that, you can do it. Okay, and Gauge also supports multiple languages. Work with languages and tools of your choice. Okay, you can work with any kind of language: Java, C Sharp, JavaScript, Python, and Ruby. Okay, you can see this is the kind of code that you have to use. If you are using Java, you have to use it like this. But just like Serenity, okay, supporting Java, you have to use their own Serenity, annotations and all those things. Same thing, you have to use JavaScript. So because we are going to use Taiko, and Taiko is actually supported with JavaScript only, and Taiko with Gauge JavaScript version we will be using. So now we will be using the combination of Gauge as a test runner, as a testing framework, just like TestNG and JUnit, or Cucumber. We will be using Gauge with Taiko. So automation code we will be writing in Taiko, and the testing framework part, report generation, before method, before suite, and all those things, we will be writing with JavaScript part. Okay, with Gauge. So what you need to do, you simply click on their documentation, and they provide a very good, rich documentation. So first, what we need to do, we have to install the Gauge on our system. So for installing the Gauge, it's saying that, okay, what is your setup? So let's see, my setup is Mac machine. I want to use JavaScript and I'm having Visual Studio Code. In your case, if you are using Windows, what you have to do, you have to click on Windows, JavaScript and Visual Studio Code, and it will tell you first how to install Gauge on your Windows operating system. So it's a simple Windows installer is available. You can download this particular file from here and you can set up it over here like this. Okay, that's it. It's a very simple. Just need to click on next, accept the license agreement, and the Gauge will be available on your system. After that, the step will be common. I'll tell you what exactly you have to do that. Same thing if you're using Mac machine, Mac, JavaScript, Visual Studio. So on Mac machine, there is no direct installer is available. You have to download with the help of Homebrew. So make sure Homebrew is available on your system. If it is not available, please download Homebrew. And after that, we have to hit this particular command, or directly you hit this command, brew install gauge from your terminal. So I'll open my terminal. Let's say this is my terminal. And I simply say brew install gauge. If brew is not recognized command in your system, please download brew, okay, from the command line only. So brew is already available on my system, and you can see that, okay, yeah, gauge is up to date. I'm using 1.0.6, right? So gauge has been downloaded on my system now. After that, what you have to do that it will download the first time, and after that we have to install Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code, guys, I have already installed. You can download Visual Studio Code from internet. It's very simple, just like Eclipse. Please download. We will be using for coding purpose now. We are not going to write the code in terminal in command prompt. We will be writing the code over here like this. All the JavaScript file, project, and everything, we will be doing it over here only, right? And once this is done, what you have to do that you have to, okay, add or install this gauge extension in your system. Okay, in your system means in your Visual Studio Code. So what you have to do when you open your Visual Studio Code in your Mac machine or Windows machine, okay, you just need to click on this settings icon. You go to manage extensions. Can you see that? Manage extensions, and it will give you, okay, these are different extensions are available, and simple write search the extension in the marketplace. So you simply write gauge. So this extension is already available on my system, on my Visual Studio Code. You can see that I have already installed. That's why it's giving you uninstall, right? It's a really good rating, guys, 5-star rating. Okay, with the 702,033 downloads are already done, and you just need to install. So in your case, when you click on it, it will give you install. Okay, you just click on install, and then that's it. Okay, gauge will be just like TestNG plugin that we have to install, right? In Eclipse, same thing, gauge plugin, okay, extension. Here we call extension, not the plugin. You have to download, you have to install in your Visual Studio Code. Once this is done, okay, you go back to, okay, that Explorer part over here. This is the package Explorer. What you need to do, you simply press Command Shift P, or for Windows user, Control Shift P, and then simple click on create a new gauge project. So click on it, just like we create a new Java project. Same thing, we have to create a new JavaScript project like this. So select JS template for gauge JavaScript project. Okay, not for Python, not for Ruby. We will be creating for JavaScript projects. And here you have to enter the name of your project. So let's say I'm giving Taiko JS sessions. Okay, and then simple click on enter, and then it will tell you that, okay, where exactly you want to store. So what I'll do, I have already created a folder over here under my documents. Let's see, gauge projects folder I've already created, and I'll be storing over here. This is just like your workspace. Select a folder, and then the project will be created over here. And see, it's saying initializing the project, you can see at the bottom, and it takes some time to create the project, and your entire project structure will be created. The folder structure and everything will be created over here, and then I'll tell you what exactly you have to do that. So it takes some time to initialize the project, and once the project is initialized, yes, it's giving you the welcome screen. You just close the welcome screen, and here you will see that is Taiko JS session that we have created. This is the project name, and here you will see that environment variables are there, logs are available, node underscore modules are there, because this is a node JavaScript based project. So we need all these node library, just like we have JDK library, JRE library, JDK 1.8 will be there. Same thing, node modules will be there. what are the different modules are there with respect to node will be there. So don't delete them, let it be as it is. And then we have this package.json. This is just like your form.xml file. Just like in Maven, we have form.xml file where we have to add the dependencies and what is the name of the project, what is the version of the project, description, what are your different scripts and test scripts are available, like that. So you don't change anything. Dependency we have already added by default, Taiko, and the latest version we want to use. So you just close the package.json. So package.json is just like your form.xml file. After that, what you need to do, you just open your specs. Specs means what are your different specs, just like a feature file. You just click on example.spec. This example is already available over here. You can see that. And this is a hash means comment, getting started with Gauge. So this is the feature. This is the spec, means this is the scenario I'm going to cover. Something like this is written. And this is a dummy or sample example.spec is available, that go to this particular GitHub page, search for Taiko, and page should contain get Gauge, okay, /Taiko. So these are my test steps are written in plain English. Okay, guys. And this is my scenario actually, and this is entire my spec. The complete spec is available written like this. After that, you just open your test folder, and we have to write the step definition file, right? So step definition file means the step implementation.js. You open it, and here you will see the code is okay available over here. So whatever the code we used to write, we have already seen with respect to Taiko, and you can see that okay, we are using the Taiko library, require Taiko. So this is a sample code against this particular examples.js. So you see that go to get Gauge GitHub page, you go to setup, and here you see that okay, this is the thing, go to get Gauge GitHub page. The exact step is written over here under your example.spec also. Go to this one, then search for Taiko. So Taiko is a string that we are passing as a parameterized query string. You go to step implementation, you will see search for what. So whatever the value that we are passing from example.js, this Taiko will be given to this guy, right? And then simple focus, then write whatever the value this query, and then press enter. And the last step is assert, okay, await, text, and all those things. So this assert is coming from Gauge, and this step and all those things are coming from Gauge. After suite and before suite is also coming from Gauge. So you can see that before suite I want to open the browser, and after suite I want to close the browser. This is just like after suite and before suite in TestNG. So three step means three test cases I have written. Here step means test case, just like @test annotation, and you have to write three test cases like this. So this is the sample test code is written over here, right, against this particular spec. And in the next videos I'll tell you how to write the specs and all those things. Now whenever you are going to run, right guys, whenever you are going to run, you always have to run this .spec file, not .js file. Okay, so you just go to example.spec, and then you have to run this particular thing. So either you want to run this particular scenario or you run the entire spec. Okay, so I'm going to run what? Run spec over here. You just click on, and you can debug also. So debugging and all I'll tell you later. You simply click on run spec. The moment you run spec, guys, you see the browser is getting open. It's opening it up, selecting Taiko, and then done. And here you see we are getting total number of test scenarios are 1 pass, 0 failed. Like this, a complete report is generating over here. And along with that, it's saying successfully generated HTML report also over here. You copy this HTML report from here and go to your browser, open a new tab, and paste the URL, file URL, and here you will see the report. But here you what exactly is saying, this report was generated by the Gauge plugin for Visual Studio Code, and it is optimized for viewing within the editor. Run Gauge specs via command line to get the full feature HTML report. So this is not full feature HTML report. You just click on this particular arrow, and here you will see that, okay, these are the 3 steps are there, everything is fine. Right click, everything is fine, you can see that. But this is not a graphical report. A very simple, a basic HTML report we are getting, right? So that we will see how to generate a complete report. So to generate the complete report, other than that, you will see this information also. You can see at the bottom that one test case is green, with green mark, green tick, 0 test case got failed. Here you will see like this also, the reporting part, just like we used to get in TestNG, same thing over here. These are the steps got passed, 1 pass, 0 failure. Okay, so this is like that, you guys can do it. Then you click on this particular terminal. You just click on this cross icon, this entire output screen is gone. I mean, it will go to the problems and then go to terminal. From the terminal also, you can execute your code. So what you have to do, this is your project directory, Taiko.js session. You can see that I'm under Taiko.js sessions, and here you can simply write npm test. It means with the node package, with the npm package, you have to execute the test. So simple write npm test, just like Maven test, ambient test, just like npm test. It will come over here under your test folder, and then it will execute this particular .js. Okay, so let's see how exactly it is working. You simple write npm test, and let's see. The moment you write npm test, you can see the browser is getting open. Again, it will enter Taiko. Yeah, done. And it will give you, yeah, proper reporting like this. One test case got passed, one executed, one got passed, and 3 steps were there, right? Like this, 3 steps were there. So here, 3 steps means, guys, 3 steps in a single test scenario I have written. The step doesn't mean that, okay, at the rate test all the time. It means that this is the scenario actually. A complete scenario is having 3 test steps. This is what I was trying to say. And this, all these 3 steps are together with one single test scenario, one single test case. So here we say scenario, not a test case, right? Ultimately, both are same thing. So ultimately, it's one test case, one got passed, 0 failure, right? And here you will see that successfully generated report over here. You just copy this location once again. Okay, copy this and open a new tab, paste the location once again. And here you will see the report, guys. It's a really rich, good report. Congratulations, you have gone all green and saved the environment. I mean, everything is green. And here you click on this particular 0 failures. Okay, and total specs mean total specs 1, total scenario 1. And here you will see all the information that go to step information. Second information, search for Taiko. Third word is page contains this. Like this, you can see. I can show you like this. It's giving you environment, 100% success rate, total time, and the date on which time you got executed. What is the project name, Taiko sessions, which gauge, symbol, and logo over here. Okay, and then you click on this plus icon. I mean this green. Everything is fine. You can click on it. Everything is fine, right? And you can search over here also what is specification or tag name if you're looking for. You can check it over here. So it's a very rich report will be generated, guys, over here, right? So like this, what exactly? Next time, if you really want, if I want to create a new spec, I'll be creating a new spec over here. Let's say login.spec and step underscore login.js, I'll be creating under test. Like that, I'll keep continuing creating my framework or creating my features spec and the .js file like this. Okay, so in the next video onwards, we will be doing such kind of things over there. And you will see all the reports will be generated over here under reports, index.html file is there. Okay, you right click on it, get the location, and then check in your browser, the report will be generated over there as well, right? And you can see some logs also got generated, gauge logs. You can check the logs by default. So you don't need to add any log4j API or any other third-party API. Automatically logs a very beautiful reports, log reports getting generated. You can see that. Go to GitHub, search for Taiko, closing the connection, HTML report got generated, test case got passed, fail, and all those things. Amazing features, guys. Amazing tool. I really like this tool. Actually, I'm I'm in love with this particular tool. Okay, reports, modules, and all those things. Later on, I'll tell you what are the different default properties are available, like that. What are different headless properties are available. By default, headless is equal to false. If you make it true, your execution will happen in headless mode. And what are the different other JS properties, timeout, and all those things available. So all these things we will cover, okay, step by step, guys, in upcoming videos. Please watch this particular watch this series, practice with Gauge and Taiko. It will really helpful. And as I told you that we will be using Gauge, so all these step is coming from Gauge. This assertion is coming from Gauge. So if you see, we are using the library of Taiko. Required library means Taiko, and then we are using before suite, after suite, and all those things are coming from Gauge. So we're using the combination of Gauge plus Taiko together, just like TestNG and Selenium WebDriver together. Same thing over here. Exact same thing. So I always used to tell you, right, that if your new tool is available in the market and if you know the concept, what do you mean by framework, what do you mean by testing framework, if you have used TestNG, you can learn any other testing framework also, just like Gauge for JavaScript. Okay, just like a BDD or TDD framework is available. Same thing, package.json is for your dependency sections and all those things. So later on, if you want to add, let's see, any Cypress dependency or any Taiko dependency that we have already added, or protector also, Puppeteer also, if you want to add the dependency for that, that also you guys can add it over here. Okay, but right now we are using only Taiko, and then we are good to go. So that's all for this particular video, guys. And in the next video onwards, we will be writing more and more scripts. We will try to automate more number of pages, different web elements, how to automate, what are different other Taiko core features are available, just like we did with Selenium. And then we will try to cover a framework also. Okay, thanks for watching. Please continue with this series. Please practice in your Visual Studio Code and let me know if you are okay, if you're facing any specific problem. Okay, thank you so much, guys. Thanks for watching this video.